Morning everyone, Mark Latham here. Thought I'd share with you an experience that I went through yesterday, and you've already seen a couple of videos of us talking to or trying to talk to Jehovah's Witnesses on the high street, and for some it's quite alarming what we do, for others it's way to go, and for others they just observe quietly. There are reasons why we do that, and we approach Jehovah's Witnesses on the high street, which I hope to come on to in a couple of minutes. Yesterday was slightly different, and if the brothers are watching this one day, I hope you see it in the spirit that it's intended, this particular video. I saw three brothers, an elder, a slightly younger guy in his sort of mid-20s maybe, who I didn't recognise, and a younger young man, probably in his teens. The elder is someone that you would recognise from our previous video when we were saying Jehovah's Witnesses break up families. It was that elder again, on the same street corner just down the road from us here. So I decided, no, I am going to talk to you. It's my Saturday afternoon, it's my time, I'm free to do whatever I want to do. And if I want to have a civil conversation with you, then I will. So rather than get on with other things, I thought, no, I really am going to talk to you, because it goes against everything I really want to do. I'd rather just run away from you, hide from you, all those things, you know, that many of us feel. But then I think to myself, no, I'm not prepared to allow you to just shun me and to make me feel as if for some reason I am a lesser person than you. Not prepared to do that. That's how I was feeling yesterday afternoon on my Saturday. So I did approach all three of them. I didn't record it. I walked up to them slowly, and my hands were in my pockets as a physical way of showing some sort of pacification. I'm not threatening. I just want to talk. Now, as usual with these literature racks that they put up, there was nobody around them. And the three guys were just in a triangle, a tripartite discussion about something, as usual, quite away from the magazines. So I decided to approach, and I did, and straight away the elder clocked me from about 150 yards, maybe more. He was staring at me and he knew I was coming over. So I decided to just keep going, and I went straight up to them. And by this time, he was talking to the other two and obviously preparing them for whatever occurrence might happen next. As I got up to them, I had to move to one side to sort of be in eye contact with this elder. It was him I wanted to talk to, but also the other two. But it was him directly. And I said, "Good afternoon, brothers. How are you?" With a smile. Nothing back. What I did get back was a very hateful look from this particular elder. And if you're going to deny that, Mr. Elder, and you know who you are, you need to have an honest appraisal of yourself. And probably look in the mirror, because the way you stared at me was extremely hateful, and I must say distasteful. I'm approaching you and I'm saying to you, "Good afternoon, brothers. How are you?" with my hands in my pockets and with a smile on my face. I am not threatening, I'm not being abusive, I'm approaching you. I want to have a civil discussion with you. At that, you turned your back on me. So I moved around the side until I was facing you again, and I looked you in the eyes and I said again, how are you? At that, you could see how perplexed you were. And I understand the different reasons for why you were feeling like you were. You see, I'm putting myself in your place now. This guy comes up, you're trying to do your preaching work, and suddenly there I am asking you how you are, and you see me as a raving apostate. So it leaves you with no alternative other than to start looking for ways to get out of that situation. So that's exactly what you do. You turn your back on me, I front you again, smile and say, I've just asked you, brother, how you are. Still nothing. With that, you then snap at the other two and say, it's time to go. The other two straight away heed your call, and they start to go and grab the Satan racks, as we call them, and they start moving off. It's at that point that as you're doing that, I'm then saying to you, I'm so sorry that you feel you have to shun me. I'm so sorry that you feel that you have no way of being able to communicate with me. That's a real shame. How do you think Jesus would feel if he was stood here today? Because if I've got this right, you claim that you are representing him. Well, if you are, why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you talking to me? And I'm sure if he was here now, he would want to have a discussion with me. He wouldn't turn his back on me, and he certainly wouldn't walk off. And by this time, they had their backs to me, and I was following them just for a couple of seconds, so that we then parted as we crossed the road. I said, goodbye, brothers. I'm sorry you can't talk to me, but it won't stop me talking to you. And that was the end of the discussion. They never said a word to me. They were true to form. The watchtower can now clap its hands and praise these three men, the elder and the two others. They can be praised for the way that they completely ignored me, shunned me, and gave me hateful looks. It's of no surprise to the viewers that will be watching this that would happen either. The reason I'm sharing this is quite a simple one. Yesterday I shared it on Facebook here on the UK site with a lot of RX JWs, and some of the comments that were coming back made me realise just how insidious this shunning can be sometimes. We all know it happens, we all know it's evil, we all know it's illegal, and we know that the Watchtower promotes it, actively promotes it. It's their main weapon. John Cedars talks about it and calls it a weapon, using the family as a weapon. It's a very, very good point. It's a very good way of looking at it. They use family members as a weapon against you. And it can be very effective. We've had individuals that we all know that have committed suicide as a result of being placed in this position by the Watchtower Society. We make no apology for making sure that we expose that and share that with the outside world, that this is exactly what this religion is doing to people. Unfortunately for the Watchtower, I'm not one of those people that's going to kill themselves. What I'm going to do is follow my gut. It's not everybody's cup of tea to do what I do or what my wife does. But we intend to make sure that when we see individuals in the high street who put themselves there in the public domain to have a debate with individuals, that I will approach them in a very civil way, non-abusive, and I will talk to them. I had one individual actually say to me that I was abusing two sisters. I found that very bizarre because the questions I asked them were, please accept this leaflet and have a read, and that was basically it. And then when they threw it away and were walking off, you see it in the video. I said, well, on your way then, sisters. But that's as abusive as it gets. One of the other things I wanted to talk about, so I'm rambling here, is that for many witnesses, They feel they're being persecuted when we approach them. And if there are any witnesses watching this, can I advise you, please Google Christian persecution and just look at some of the real persecution that's going on in the world at Christians for being just that, Christian, and see what happens when people have to live in certain lands and claim that they love Jesus Christ. Schools are burnt down, hospitals are burnt down, families are separated, husbands executed, wives and children raped. That's a common occurrence in quite a few countries now for being Christian. That is not happening to Jehovah's Witnesses. So there's a very big contrast between that type of very adversarial persecution and little old me, or people like me, approaching you in a civil way to ask you some questions. It's pathetic. It really is. One of the things that I notice for many people when I talk to them about shunning is that when they're in a supermarket or they're in the street and they see someone that they once knew who's coming at them, who's walking towards them, they get butterflies in their stomach. For many, they want to hide away. I read one a few days ago about somebody hiding in a toilet to get away from this particular individual. Things like this, to get away from witnesses because they just can't cope with the shunning. That's how powerful it is. But one of the methods of overcoming this issue and getting some larger perspective may be, and it's not everybody's way, and I totally respect that, is to find a way of confronting it. One of the extreme ways is to do what I did yesterday and talk to these people. Go up in a civil way and say, hello, how are you? Knowing full well that they won't talk to you. But you're doing something for you. I did something for me yesterday. And it's my way, it's my affirmation to say, no, I am taking control of this situation. You are not in a position to shun me and at the same time get away with it. I'm not going to allow that. That's my way. And what that happens is when the experience is over and you walk away, the confirmation to yourself, and it is an affirmation, is that I am not allowing shunning to get in the way of my life. I'm better than that. I just wish they were too. I wanted to share that because for many I know that it's a real issue. There are families that go through hell as a result of this. And we do understand. I know Christians that are now ex-witnesses that have a very different way of dealing with this. In fact, I was talking to a dear sister the other day on the phone and she said, well, we've been watching you on YouTube. It's not our cup of tea. It's not the way we would do it. They have a very different way of doing it. They are strong Christians. They have a very strong Christian faith. And they do go to church here in this country. And I'm amazed at the experiences that they've come out with when I was talking to this particular sister on the phone. Extremely effective, and they have a very different way of dealing with it. And I totally respect that. And that's the mosaic and the picture of that mosaic that makes it very interesting, because all of us are very different. It's not an exact science. It's up to all of us to decide which way we want to go with this and accept it. But what I would say to all of our ex-brothers and sisters out there, when you're facing shunning, is find what's comfortable for you and confront it. Don't run away from it. Don't hide from this stuff. There is no reason for you to feel guilty at all. You have a right to life, you have a right to love, you have a right to friends, you have a right to watch and read whatever you like. You have a right to believe whatever you like. It's up to you. It's an individual choice. Them shunning you is a way of them trying to still control you. They will say that once you leave the religion that they have nothing more to do with you and it's up to you what you do. But that is far from the reality. The very fact that they shun you is a way of an invisible cord where they try to still have a grip on you. and say, you still belong to us, that's why we're doing this to you. No. Break that chain, get rid of it, because it doesn't exist. It only exists in your mind. It certainly doesn't exist in reality. If people want to promote hatred on you, which is what it is, that's something that we should all feel sorry about for that individual. The younger guy, the one in the middle, I felt when I looked at him and tried to talk to him yesterday, he looked very uncomfortable with the fact I was being softly spoken and asking him genuinely how he was. He couldn't cope with it. He was looking down, he was very fidgety. He didn't know what to do with himself. And the reason that he's feeling that, I could see in his body language. I've done courses on body language, and he was feeling that because it's unnatural not to be able to speak, not to be able to converse with another human being. And he felt very unnatural with that. I know that. I could see it in every mannerism that he had. Now what that did for me was confirm once again exactly where all of this evil control comes from. It's not the brother. It's not the elder. It's the watchtower. And they are the ones instigating this universal hatred of all of us. And it's something that all of us should tackle. Now, the AAWA.co are doing extremely good work here with the petitions that have been being asked to be signed. If you haven't signed it yet, go on AAWA.co and sign the petition. There are others out there. I've mentioned John Cedars. He came up with this leaflet the other day on his website. Go on JW Survey, go and have a look. 10 questions for Jehovah's Witnesses to consider. Excellent questions, 10 of them, nice and simple, on an A4 sheet, folded up into a leaflet, and you've got something that you can keep in your bag. And when you see these people, if you feel you have the courage, go up to them, talk to them, ask them, hello, how are you? And if they know you and they shun you, who's got the higher moral ground here? You've taken back some empowerment. You've taken back your right to talk to whoever you want to, and you will not be put in a corner and be punished. You have that right. Why? Because you are an individual, you are unique, and you should be loved. And that is a basic, common requirement for every human being on the earth today. How dare they do that to us? Thank you for listening to me today. Just thought I'd share this one. I understand, talking to my wife yesterday, I think we've got some other videos that we'll be doing shortly over a number of different things. But I just wanted to share this one with you because it's important, because it's ongoing. And if we don't take control of the shunning that happens to us as individuals, it can lead to bad health. It can lead to you feeling mentally depressed. So there is a need to understand why the shunning is happening, where it's coming, where it's being generated from, and how you as an individual can cope with it. How you as an individual can face those demons and find ways of getting around this so that you can take that empowerment back. Do not allow the watchtower to control you. You are special. Everyone is. And it's up to us as individuals to find our own way. As I said, there's no right and wrong way. There's only the right way. We're looking forward to July the 26th, where we've got the Watchtower Victims Memorial Day. This is a very good step for many people to be able to express themselves and show love. Show a great deal of love on that day with a card and a flower, and put it either on the Kingdom Hall fence or near it, just to be able to say, or near the Kingdom Hall door, depending on where you live, just to say we love our brothers and sisters very much, and we're sorry that we can't see our families, and also to be able to give honour to all of those people that are no longer with us because they followed the Watchtower and are now dead because of it. Also all of those that committed suicide because they couldn't take the pressure anymore. So it's a very important day for all of us, and it's something that all of us will be following from this day for years to come. For the rest of my life, I know I will be doing it. And it's a way of exposing the Watchtower through love. And once again, looking at the macro here, the bigger picture, it's a way for all of us to confront the shunning and do something about it. So please prepare yourselves for July 26. We're coming up to May now, and so you'd be surprised how quickly the time flies. Have a ponder, have a long think about what you'd like to write in your card or in your letter. I've heard people wanting to write a poem and laminate it. I've seen others that want to write cards. You can go on the websites and find ways of looking at certain wording that you might want help with. Ask some other friends on the internet, on the Facebook pages, the social networking sites, how they're going to do it. Look for generating new ways, innovative ways. There are some quite good ones. My wife had one, I'm not going to give it away. And I love her to bits with some of the ideas she comes out with. But it's all done as an expression of love. And also it's a way of you fighting the shunning. And we will win this. That's it. I'm not going to say any more, I'm rambling. But thank you very much for listening. And we'll be speaking soon. Bye for now.